He should have let the tide take the boy. Instead, Ryan dove, cold gray water slammed his chest. Alarm sirens rang across the broken pier. The moon was a fractured coin in the sky. Above, the sleeping satellites opened like eyes. He felt them look down. "Ryan, don't," Mara's voice cut through the spray. She stood on the quay with a shock baton and a terrified look. "The treaty," he found the child under the foaming surge, fingers tangled in dock netting, tiny lungs fought. Tiny hands clawed. Ryan tore the net and hauled the boy up. The sirens went from warning to war-cry. Treaty broken. Ryan cradled the boy against him. He felt the small ribs, the heat, the shiver. He knew the rule carved on every port gate. No foreign hand saves a child. Let fate take, let the world judge. He had promised to obey. He had meant it. Until a child coughed seawater onto his shoulder. "Breathe," he said softly. "I've got you." Blue light poured over them like dawn condensed. The satellites moved in a slow, terrible arc. Everyone on the quay dropped to their knees. Ryan stood, shaking, the boy wheezing in his arms. The planet answered with a voice that was the sky. "We punish mercy with sovereignty," the words rolled through his bones. Birds burst from the rusted cranes. The sea went still, as if listening. Ryan felt a ring of heat burn into the skin around his wrist. He dropped to one knee, teeth clenched. The child stared at him with wet, lucid eyes. "Don't be afraid," Ryan said. Mostly to himself, Mara stepped back like he had turned into a fire. "You just took the crown code, you're Ryan, you're marked." The dock loudspeakers cracked alive. "Breach recorded." Sovereign protocol engaged. All oaths reset, all debts follow. Then the loudspeakers died, smoking. Beneath his palm, the boy's chest fluttered. Ryan's mind darted, hunting exits that didn't exist. The treaty had kept peace for 100 years. Off-worlders didn't meddle with trialed natives. The planet's ancient machine mind, the archivist, enforced it. Break it and the planet bound you. Sovereignty meant one thing. You answer for the world. You carry it. Or it carries you to the grave. Guards poured onto the quay in gray coats and mirrored masks. Their captain raised a gloved hand. "Surrender the child and kneel, sovereign." Ryan pulled the boy closer. "He'll die if I let go." "Then kneel faster," the boy stirred. "My name is Saya," he whispered. "It hurts," Ryan's chest cracked inside. "I know." The sky dimmed. The satellites rotated, casting long lines across the sea, like a cage dropping. His wristband burned again. Symbols flickered across his vision maps, numbers, storm fronts, heartbeat counts, like the planet had opened a hidden room in his head. It felt like drowning and waking at once. Mara moved in front of him. "Captain, he saved a life." "Have sense." The captain's mirrored mask reflected Ryan, the boy, the gray sea. "Sense is the treaty. Kneel." Ryan remembered the legend told in dockside smoke. Once, a queen saved a trial child from a burning orchard. The planet crowned her and crushed her with it. Her city thrived, her heart failed, mercy had a cost. The story never said what happened to the child. He looked at Saya. The boy's eyes were too clear. "Too old." Ryan raised his free hand slowly. "All right, The dock bucked. A line of light carved the air, a lance from the sky. It hit the captain's feet and blossomed into a shimmering wall between the guards and Ryan. Heat brushed his face. The captain froze, stunned. Static fizzed on the key metal. Mara's mouth opened. "Ryan, you did that." He hadn't moved, but the ring on his wrist pulsed. The satellites adjusted their gaze. He didn't feel like a man. He felt like a door. Saya's small fingers dug into his shirt. "They'll take me," the boy whispered. "They always do." "Who?" Ryan asked, though he already knew the answer. "The trialers, the watchers. The ones who wrote what counted as fate. The keep," Saya said. "The ones who call storms." A shadow cloud crawled across the moon. The wall of light flickered, then steadied, as if waiting for his choice. "Walk," Mara hissed. "Now." They ran. Boots pounded behind them. Ryan moved with a strength that wasn't his. His feet found paths through coils and crates like an invisible map had laid itself in his mind. He cut through a warehouse, ducked under chain lines, burst into an alley smelling of salt and hot metal. The planet fed him roots, threat lines, pulse readings of men he couldn't see. It wanted him alive. It wanted him used. Ryan! The captain's voice was distant now, angry. This ends at the keep, Saya coughed. They wake the towers when a sovereign runs. Satellites? Ryan asked. Towers, Saya said, old ones. In the spine of the world? He didn't want that sentence inside him. He didn't want any of this inside him. He wanted to be a dockhand who fixed engines and kept his head down. He wanted his mother's soft hands alive and her laugh in the kitchen again. He wanted the promises he'd made to stay true. And yet he ran with a child in his arms and a crown in his blood. They reached the seawall. Foam slapped the stone. The city fell behind like a dying dream. Beyond the wall, the dunes cut the land into gold ribs. In the distance, a line of black teeth sawed the horizon, the mountain spine. Lightning flickered there, crawling like nerves. Mara grabbed his elbow. Listen, the archivist doesn't choose a fool. If it bound you, it means to use you. The keep will offer terms. Don't take them. What terms? Bend or bleed, she swallowed. And if the old stories are true, they need a sovereign to open the vault. What's inside? Nobody who tells that story lives long. The satellites drifted, low now like metal moons. A whisper brushed Ryan's ear, though no mouth moved. Sovereign. Confirm vector. The voice was velvet and iron, the archivist. It sounded patient. It sounded like it could wait 1,000 years for his answer. Ryan looked at Saya. The boy watched him with that older-than-bone gaze. Why were you trialed? Ryan asked. Saya's lips trembled. They said I lied. That I wasn't born here. The words struck like a thrown hook. Not born here. Not of this world. The treaty punished interference. If Saya was off-world, midpoint truth flipped. Ryan didn't save a native child. He saved the spark that nullified the treaty itself. Mara saw it hit him. Ryan, the satellites brightened. The dunes hummed. Far away, the mountain spine lit in a row, one peak to the next, like a necklace catching fire. Tawa's waking. The archivist whispered again. We punish mercy with sovereignty. But we reward courage with keys. Turn and the keep opens. Run and we hunt. Ryan's palms were slick. The boy's heartbeat tapped his ribs. He felt very small and very huge. A door and a man both. He thought of the queen in the orchard. He thought of the story that never told the child's fate. He squared his shoulders and faced the horizon. I'm not kneeling, he said, Mara's head tilted. Then we make new rules. Boots scraped stone behind them. The captain and his gray coats lined the seawall, weapons raised. Across the dunes a black procession moved, keep riders on low, sleek machines, banners like knife-thin shadows. In the sky, satellites closed like a crown. Sovereign, the captain called. One last chance. Ryan stepped to the edge, the ring on his wrist burning like a small sun. He lifted his chin and spoke to the sky. Archivist, if I open the vault, does the world survive? Silence. Then a whisper that didn't answer, only promised hunger. Open and learn what you carry. Saya's small hand found his. Whatever happens, the boy said, don't let me go. Ryan tightened his grip. I broke one promise. Not again. He spread his fingers. The sea drew breath. The satellites aimed. The mountain towers flared. The wall of light rose like a blade in his grasp. And from the horizon, something answered, an old voice. Not the planets, a voice that knew his name before he was born. Ryan, it said, gentle as tide, merciless as law. Welcome home. Want the next chapter the moment it drops? Tap follow and don't blink.